Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to MSU Soccer Park and today's USL match. Please raise your scarves and welcome your defending USL champion, New York Red Bulls 2, to the pitch for today's match.
You are looking inside Montclair State University at MSU Soccer Park. USL action. It is New York Red Bull 2 taking on Ottawa Fury FC. Alongside Christian Dyer, I'm Matt Harmon. We welcome you into this Eastern Conference matchup. Red Bulls 2 coming in 6th overall, Ottawa 14th. Michael Salazar on loan from the Montreal Impact, which is the USL affiliate of the MSL team. Christian, he's a guy we will certainly keep our eye on.
Yeah, he's a really interesting player. 1v1, very good ability, comfortable on the ball, makes good solid runs off the ball, sits in those pockets, has some good size, good powerful player. Obviously an MLS Super Draft pick, real impact player.
Evan Lauro for New York Red Bulls 2, 27 saves so far. That is tied for the most in USL. He's a homegrown standout from the University of Michigan. You see the starting lineup. It's a bit of a makeshift lineup today for Ottawa. They've got a couple of players that are injured. We'll talk about those as we go through. Roseboom, the guy in the middle we will keep an eye on, the team captain. He's really the anchor of everything that goes for this Ottawa team. Yeah,
Lance Roseboom there, number 25, a two-way player, good solid passer there on the ball. Really kind of the pivot there in the midfield for Ottawa.
And for the Red Bulls, some familiar names. Brandon Allen, who was a standout last year for the USL champs. Dan Metzger, a guy who's been bouncing back and forth a little bit between the first team and the second team. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, we'll get this one up and going. Ottawa and New York Red Bull 2 coming up right after this.
We've raised the stakes. Expectations are high. Our biggest season yet will break records with elite players and future stars, innovative technology, and new homes. We're growing the game in our communities and across the nation. Are you ready?
Ready to go. Big-time atmosphere here at Red Bull Arena.
What a shot saved by Robles. Bradley Redfield has scored! The ultimate scoring machine. And New York is on fire. Hashtag New York is red. And who would argue with them?
Left out here to rot and burn. I never trusted your love.
We are back from MSU Soccer Park on the campus of Montclair State University with Christian Dyer. I'm Matt Harmon. Should be a good one here today. Two of the teams in the Eastern Conference still trying to get their season on track for where they want it to be. Inside that huddle, Ottawa Fury FC head coach Paul Dalglish, who is the son of the former Liverpool Celtic manager Kenny. Paul, playing with Houston, won an MLS Cup championship with his time with the Dynamo, right in the middle of that huddle for this Ottawa team, who comes in trying to get their season turned around. Just 6 points, 1 win, 3 losses, and 3 draws. John Wallenick, the head coach, his 3rd year here for New York Red Bull 2. His team last year was the darlings of the league, regular season champs, the playoff champs as well. 3-4-2 so far this year with 11 points. Ottawa today will be in the all-red uniforms. Red Bull 2, the white tops with the red shorts and the white socks. You'll see our referee crew here today. Temperature pretty comfortable after what has been a extremely hot week here in the Northeast. Right in the low 60s, still a little bit of humidity that is in the air. But certainly a welcome relief from what has been high 80s into the mid 90s over the course of the last couple of days.
Yeah, and this should definitely be the type of match where you're going to see conflicting styles. Red Bull's going to want to keep the ball on the field, trying to get the seams, trying to get Ottawa turned around a little bit. Ottawa, a little bit more of a direct team, big physical backline. 3 in the back there will stay very compact, concede the wings. Red Bull's going to look to counter that, trying to get in behind, play low balls across the face of the box. Don't expect to see a Red Bull 2 team here that's going to send too many lofted crosses in, given the size of the Ottawa backline.
An early foul is called on New York Red Bulls 2. Set piece chance from the far side. Struck towards the top of the 18. Cleared out first time by New York. Played in. Laurel will grab it at the penalty spot. Justin Bilyeu clearing Law, looking for Brandon Allen. Pretty potent starting 3 today up top for New York. Allen, last year's Rookie of the Year. Zico Lewis, first-round pick, and Jamaican national player Junior Flemings.
And Zico Lewis, a player who's really come along now the past few weeks. Not necessarily putting up big numbers so far this season, but you're seeing his ability to stretch the defense, that kind of speed that can get in behind the back line, serve a good quality ball there. I think Zico Lewis is a player who's going to start pounding on the door of the MLS team the next few weeks in terms of his ability to perhaps be a late-game spark. For Red Bull's team that right now at the MLS level has been having some difficulties putting the ball on the goal, he might just be that kind of late-game sub who can be a game changer.
1-1 draw last night with Toronto FC. David Amador with the clearance. This will be Lewis on the right flank. Good step over move. Numbers here for New York. Fed across. Flemings will sky it into the section set up behind the goal. Good opportunity. We saw the speed that you just spoke of, Christian, from Zico Lewis.
Yeah, I just want to check on my vehicle, make sure I was okay there. I think Junior Flemings may have dinged my hood. But yeah, and Junior Flemings is another player we're talking about that coming in off those injuries, had 2 surgeries over the past 9 months. That's certainly going to affect things, but we're beginning to see him round into form. You watch him in training week in, week out. This is a player with good finishing skills, good understanding and ball movement.
This is Jamar Dixon pushing up. Served in, poked out by Najem. Flemings stood up. Last touch by New York will be an Ottawa throw. Eddie Edward taking the throw. David Amador playing it out. Abador's bounced around the last couple of years, spent time with Tulsa in the USL, played professionally in Sweden. Poked down a couple of times. Lauro looking for help. That will be Abador who will clear.
And Abador, a real no-nonsense player back there, has the versatility to play in the midfield. Right now, being in the center of the back four, going to bring a little bit more possession, but definitely a no-nonsense type of player out there.
Set to enter the 5th minute. This is the first of 3 meetings between these two teams. They play in Ottawa in June and in August. Obasi will drop it back to Callum Irving. In transition, this will be Bezecourt. Basulovic. Bilyeu looking across. Najim with it. Lauro, who signed the homegrown contract in the offseason. Good footwork by Dixon to get forward. Manicio is taken down. Interesting start to the year for Ottawa. 1-3-3. Right now, 14th out of 15 teams in the USL Eastern Conference. Perhaps their biggest rallying cry, Christian, for the season. This one in transition will ding off of the post. Froze Lauro, and now a corner coming for Fury FC.
Oh, what an opportunity right there. Chesting it down one touch. I think Evan Lauro just absolutely frozen on that one. Nothing he could have done on that opportunity.
Cito Sione with that last opportunity. We'll finish the thought on the Ottawa season so far after this set piece. Driven into space. Allen back to help defensively. Dixon gets around him. Served across. Abador with no other option but to play it back over the end line, and a second corner coming for Fury FC.
Ottawa doing well now in the first few moments of this match, going down that right flank, looking to attack, overlap, trying to stretch and pull apart a Red Bulls backline that's been pretty compact for the most part this year.
Here's the hit towards the back post. Still in the box, Bilyeu looking to clear. Red Bull 2 with the player down, which I believe is Junior Flemings. And we'll call on the training staff for Flemings. Just to go back to the point, Ottawa, Christian, 1-3-3 so far. They have been able to advance in the Canadian Championship. They will take on the team that New York Red Bulls played last night, Toronto FC, in the next round. They beat Edmonton in the opening round of the tournament.
Goals have been a little hard to come by for Ottawa so far this year. I mean, when you look at them as a team, they certainly have some talented players up top, in particular on the wings. They've got a little bit of speed out there, but right now putting shots on frame and being able to get them to go in have been a challenge for this Ottawa team. Once they start to do that, they have the pieces, the components in the back line, a very hard-working type of midfield that if they can start to get some goals, this is a team that could really start to go on a run and churn out some results. They've got that type of personnel. They got to figure out things in the final third.
Bezecourt gets fouled. Red Bull 2 will reset in their back line. Ottawa not happy with that last whistle, thinking they were in on goal. You can see as the Fury retreat, they really go to almost a 5-man back line. Lewis leaving it. Bezecourt. Flemings pulls the string on the right-footed shot. Bezecourt will play it into space. So O'Toole looking for the service. And it'll be the first corner of the afternoon for Red Bull 2.
This is an Ottawa team that has really made their identity out of their defensive first mentality and then moving forward, always looking to keep the clean sheet and then seeing what they can do in the offensive half.
Bezecourt will take this corner. Looking for Abador. First ball win. Now a second ball win for Lewis. Fleming's dancing inside the 18. Salazar has it tackled away nicely by O'Toole.
Good individual win there from O'Toole, making sure his player doesn't turn, winning the ball, and then being able to keep possession for the Red Bulls.
Fleming's trying to draw the foul. That will roll out. Kevin O'Toole, just 19 years old. Academy product for the Red Bulls. Fans, stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune in to USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts Mondays at 9 p.m. on SiriusXM FC, Channel 85. Also, don't forget, SiriusXM FC will air the USL Game of the Week. Check out USLsoccer.com for dates and times. Lewis checking back through the midfield. Metzger, patience with O'Toole. And Bilyeu flipping it over the top. Bilyeu, kind of an interesting story. Drafted out of SIU Edwardsville as more of a left back. Saw some time last year at the MLS level. Here has become kind of a utility player, almost out of need at the center back spot.
Yeah, a player who at the MLS level we saw in the Champions League, we saw at the start of the season, in the regular season, was playing as an outside back, now being played a little bit more of a center back here at the USL level. I think perhaps his best position at the next level and moving forward is going to be outside back. If you can play center back, then chances are you can translate well to an outside position. But I think his ability to move forward, he hits a decent cross, good on a dead ball as well, makes him an ideal outside back, left back at the MLS level.
Played a little bit in the Open Cup last year as well for the Red Bulls senior team. He does have a fantastic first-time service off a left foot. Foul to reorganize here for Ottawa. Set to enter the 13th minute of this first half. Hume takes it down. Salazar keeps it alive. Benicio flipping for Dixon. Roseboom plays wide for Campbell. Keeps the possession. Dangerous strike here, going in. And a big save made by Loro. Right on the doorstep was Jamar Dixon. Loro played it perfectly from one side to the other and keeps it at a scoreless first half.
And Jamar Dixon looking there at the back post. Evan Lauren doing so well, making himself big, sliding over. Tremendous footwork there on the reaction save.
McElhinney restarting things. Ottawa has had a lion's share of the possession so far and definitely the better chances. Abador goes in hard with the tackle. Early ball in. Loro at the 6 will let his team clear. Evan Loro so far this year, 7 starts. He's given up 14 goals. You look at the difference, Christian, between last year's Red Bull 2 team and this year's. Salazar in on goal, playing it across. And a fingertip save is made by Loro. That one through the wickets. Abador off the goal line, but couldn't keep it out, and Ottawa has struck first.
Just sustained pressure over and over again from Ottawa, and Tucker Hume being able to put that one in. Evan Loro with a tremendous initial save right there on Michael Salazar, but Hume there just to capitalize on the opportunity.
Hume will get his first goal of the year.
Tremendous ball in there to Salazar, who puts in an effort on goal, but Hume all kinds of time there to turn, puts it in. Abador stretches out, not able to get it, but that's a well-deserved goal from Ottawa. They've had sustained pressure. They're winning second balls, and this has been a game that right now, through the opening 15 minutes, Ottawa has clearly dominated.
We'll see how New York can reorganize. Was just about to say before that goal, one of the issues for this Red Bull 2 team on the season has been giving up a lot of goals. That's their 19th goal conceded this year, which is the most in all of USL. Bezecourt, good flip ahead for Allen. Sione and Metzger battle for it in front of the Ottawa coaching bench. Paul Dalglish in his second year here with the Fury, who is playing their first year in the USL. They were among the teams that left the NASL for the USL in between the 16 and 17 seasons. Dixon will make the walk down for this throw inside the final third for Ottawa, who leads 1-0 on a goal from Tucker Hume.
We've seen Eddie Edwards here down the right flank with the big throw in. Ottawa's got some big bodies there. It's created a little bit of a problem for Red Bull so far on these restarts.
Flemings trying to get the speed. Edward going high against Junior Flemings.
Yeah, that was a shoulder right into Fleming's jaw right there, and as soon as contact was made, Flemings went down.
Edward will get a talking to and a likely first booking. Here's the yellow coming out.
And a little bit of an unnecessary foul there from Eddie Edwards. I mean, you're not even crossing midfield at that point to put in a foul on the sidelines right there, 60 yards away from goal. Just always seems a little bit unnecessary.
Elvis Osmanovic, the referee in charge.
I think this was a good call here from the referee. I mean, Fleming just makes the turn, and Edwards lays in with the shoulder. Good open field tackle. It could be a Monmouth Hawk right there on the football field.
Good reference, Christian.
For those who don't know, Matt Harmon is the living legend of all Monmouth sports.
I don't know about that, but you're signed as my agent.
It's better than being the deceased legend.
Hume, who's a big target, finding Dixon. Bezecourt and Allen with a 1-2 ball. Irving with a long clearance. Sione. Deflected down by Bilyeu, and then Metzger is fouled in transition. Metzger, another one of those guys, Christian, who's been in the 18 a couple of times for the senior team.
Yeah, and his development has really grown. I mean, we saw that 2 years ago, his first year coming out from college soccer, drafted by DC United, ended up being cut by that team, comes here, the USL, goes through injuries. He's really taken a step forward in terms of his development. I think his vision, his understanding, but tactically where he sits there in front of the four-man back line, clogging up things, his understanding of passing channels, and then also offensively being able to sit in those pockets, be a reliable outlet there when there's a lot of pressure on a player. He kind of sits there and relieves the pressure. Dan Metzger's development has really been something that I think over the past 2 years is kind of symbolic of this USL team and what John Waleneck's trying to do, developing players for the next levels for the Red Bulls MLS organization.
Good touch by O'Toole. Metzger resetting. Allen in. Gets Irving out of goal. Flemings with the strike, and it's in.
Clinical finishing there from Junior Flemings, and I thought Brandon Allen perhaps took a little bit too long right there, but just being able to draw the defender, goalkeeper Callum Irving out of goal. Junior Fleming's doing so well and such poise, tuck it in the inside part of that net, but just the vision he has right there. Brandon Allen picking up his head, laying the ball off. Junior Flemings with one touch, tucking it just inside perfectly.
Flemings has his third of the season, and we are back on level terms at 1-1. Said you look at the offensive weapons that this Red Bull 2 team has. Lewis, Allen, Flemings all kind of starting in attacking positions today with Basulovic and Bezecourt. If they can get more possession as this game goes on, you would think the chances are going to come.
Certainly, and we've seen flashes of it with the one-touch play that Red Bulls 2 has, and their ability, they're moving, they're understanding off the ball, sitting in those pockets. It's a real good, keen understanding. It's putting it all together. Last year, it took till about June for this team to come along, and maybe now we're starting to see some of those flashes.
Lewis for Allen. Leading off for Flemings. This will be cleared out here by Ottawa. Soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com.
It's nice to see some members from the Red Bulls first team here as well. Michael Murillo is here as well, flanked by Fernando Ruiz, the longtime equipment manager for the Red Bulls. It's always nice to see that integration and the players coming out here to support each other. Murillo, of course, helping to be blended into the first team squad, assigning this offseason, playing a number of USL games, started last night, played 90 minutes. I thought a rather good 90 minutes against the against Toronto FC.
Would agree. I thought he looked very solid. His third start coming last night in what was a 1-1 draw at Red Bull Arena.
He really adds another dimension to the team. I think as he gets more comfortable moving forward, the speed that he has, hits a decent cross, will become an asset in the attack as well.
Now Lewis on the build-up. Metzger, first time for Flemings. McElhenney will clear. You would think if Murillo could continue his development, he on one side, Kamar Lawrence on the other, it's a pretty good combination of outside backs.
And we've heard Jesse Marsh talk about it and say that he thought that Murillo was going to end up being a player following a similar trajectory to what he saw Kamar Lawrence 2 years ago when he got integrated to the squad, and just how they kind of brought him along slowly, made sure that he was ready.
O'Toole doing battle with Eddie Edward. Popped along by Irving. Overlapping run by Hume. He's got Ottawa's goal today. Junior Flemings with Red Bull's 2 goal. New York 3-4-2 on the year. All 3 of those wins have come here at MSU Park. Salazar, too much pace on it. Michael Salazar, who we talked about in the Open, 2016 draft pick of the Montreal Impact, down here with their USL affiliate. Probably like a lot of young guys, Christian, trying to find his way. Did see some time last year for the Impact. If you're not going to get minutes, you got to go down and try and find them somewhere.
And that's the wonderful thing about the USL right now and what it's meant for so many MLS teams and the development of young players to get those minutes in this setting.
Salazar was the intended target on that service in by Andre Campbell.
And then another part of that development is going to be a facility like this, Montclair State University, the soccer park here. Instead of playing at Red Bull Arena, which is a fantastic venue for MLS, a little bit more intimate here, a place that this team can call their own. I think it's a really big part of who this team is and what this team is being able to play in a place they can call their own.
Hume with the strike, deflected by Bilyeu. Corner coming for Ottawa. It's a nice intimate setting for soccer here in northern Jersey. You figure on a good day, maybe 20 minutes to Red Bull Arena.
20 maybe, well, good day. How many good days in traffic are there in North Jersey?
Well, I was trying to be positive here, you know.
It's like short traffic up here all the time, Matt.
Should be an in-swinging kick, driven all the way across. Hume there, played in. Lauro will grab it. There's a Red Bull 2 player that is down in the box.
You never want to see that. What looks like it could be potentially a head injury. Can't see the number. I don't know if that's Arun Basulovic or not.
It is not Basulovic. I see 17. Trying to do the same.
That's just one of those kind of bang-bang plays, bodies colliding, going in. It was a lofted corner kick.
It's Kevin O'Toole, number 46, starting today at left back for New York.
Always going to be a challenge with a team like this, with the amount of size that Ottawa has, the players they can move forward on set pieces. A real advantage for them is playing, being able to utilize that size on a set piece.
And a good sign that O'Toole is at least up. He'll be helped off. We'll see if he will check back in. Last year played 12 games and 3 playoff games for New York Red Bull 2. Started in that USL Cup final. Good solid young player in the academy system, just 19. If you're used to watching these Red Bull 2 games, well, the USL YouTube channel, probably thinking, where's Florian Valot? He's out with minor injury, just listed as day-to-day. He's been one of the key cogs in the success that this team has had between last year and their start this season. It is part of the challenge, I would think, for the head coaches in any team that's affiliated with an MLS team. You're not 100% sure from day to day who you could have for selection.
Well, not even for that. How about for practice? Sometimes these guys we see all the time, Beescourt and Valot, Junior Fleming is always being called up, Abador as well, for training sessions with the first team when they need bodies, whether someone's being rested or there's an injury. And that makes it very difficult for John Wallach. He may not have a starting 11 he can go out there every day and work with and try to gel and utilize and get used to game type situations.
Minicio losing it to Bezecourt. That foul coming on Vincent Bezecourt. Played a couple of years, St. Francis, Brooklyn. He was another member of that championship team from a year ago. O'Toole still being worked on the sideline.
Looks like he's going to be checking back in. No one's warming up right now for Red Bull 2.
Tim Schmall was a guy who was getting active. O'Toole taking a, I would have agreed with you. I thought he was going to try and hop back in, but it looks like Schmall will get a jersey on and be an early substitution here for New York. Salazar for Hume. Almost a half an hour in. Good move by Hume to get around Abador. Laura will make that save. You would think with this substitution coming, Schmall, a center back by nature, maybe he goes in the middle and Bilyeu comes wide left.
It would make the most sense. I mean, Schmall being a big physical presence right there, ability to read the game from a central position, and Bilyeu, his ability to overlap, be able to strike a good cross, and the comfort level he has having played at the MLS level at left back would probably make the most sense to push him out to the left side.
Left tire for Hume. Right-footed shot, and it's just off target. A fingertip from Lauro. One of several good chances that Ottawa's had. New York playing a man down those last couple of minutes. Tim Schmall will get into the game. 4 years at Harvard, has made his way up, played U23 for the Red Bulls PDL team. Last year, 24 games for Red Bull 2.
Fans, stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league.
No question, he is hard to miss when he enters at 6'6".
Mondays, 9 p.m. Sirius XM FC Channel 85. Also, don't forget Sirius XM FC will air the USL Game of the Week. Check USLsoccer.com.
Ottawa can't get anything towards goal. It'll be Campbell who will use Irving.
Well, let's just talk about Tucker Hume here for a moment for Ottawa. He's been very impressive. I know he's a big body and kind of has a little bit of a reputation being good on set pieces and being good in the air, but he's more than just a hold-up player. Really been very solid right now. I like his movement. He's running into channels, active the past couple minutes, and if it wasn't for an Evan Lauren fantastic reaction save a few moments ago, Ottawa could very easily be up 2-1.
Lewis and Flemings have changed spots. Fans, stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune in to USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts Mondays at 9 p.m. on Sirius XM FC Channel 85. Sirius XM FC will also air the USL Game of the Week. Check out USLsoccer.com for dates, times, and complete information on the league. Obasi. Edward, long clearance, looking for Salazar over the top. .33rd minute, alongside Christian Dyer. I'm Matt Harmon. Hope you're enjoying coverage of USL soccer. The New York Red Bulls 2, 1-1 with the Ottawa Fury. Flemings gets grabbed and pulled down to the turf surface. That's exactly the change we talked about. Bilyeu has come wide left, maybe his more natural position. We were talking with him in the preseason when New York was searching for some center backs at the MLS level. it was his first real go-round at that center back spot.
And USL is one of the most...
Listen, though, if you're a young player, Christian, and you can offer a bit of versatility, it could make you more valuable for the team at the senior level.
Well, you look at David Najem and what he's done. An outside player in college comes in here, plays outside, then all of a sudden shows his versatility in the pinch, one match in the second half, and all of a sudden he's now playing outside back. He can play in a central midfield role. He can play outside. Different ways to get himself on the field, but perhaps offer different skill sets for the USL, potentially MLS.
Salazar with space against Metzger. That's what Dan Metzger does so well. Holds, counter-attacking, runs up. Dixon, good run in towards the back post. Hume would have been there. I don't think he read it quite well enough to get anything at goal. It will be another corner coming for Ottawa.
And a very good play there from Abador, realizing that the run was coming from Hume at the back post. Just the ability to understand where the pass was coming and then to step up and then just be able to push it out.
This will be Michael Salazar, who will go over and take this corner for Ottawa. Top of the sixth, Bill Yu, first-time win. Flemings wants it in space. Gets the touch and will draw a foul. All things considered, at that spot of the field in a foot race, you will certainly take that call if you're Red Bulls too.
Junior Fleming's one of the most dangerous players in the USL in 1v1 situations. His speed, his combination play, but his confidence on the dribble 1v1 makes him such a dynamic player there in the final third.
Bazacourt will be the one to trigger. 5-6 players inside the 18-yard box for Red Bull 2.
A lot of space there at the back post.
And some big targets between Abador, Schmoll, Allen. This one swung in, read well by Callum Irving.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. The referee issued a yellow card to Ottawa USC's number 28, Manicio.
Off that last whistle, Manicio was given a yellow. Second caution of the day on Ottawa. Played wide for Billiou. Now Basulovic for Flemings. First time ball, Lewis to the left foot. Didn't get a whole lot on it. And it's gobbled up in the box by Irving. We've mentioned the name of Arun Basulovic a couple of times already today. He has played every minute for New York Red Bulls 2 so far this year. Now 2-on-2 into space. Salazar wanted it. Cleared out nicely by the back four of New York.
Good switch there from Brandon Allen.
Popped into the box looking for Allen. He gets taken down by Irving. And then a foul will be called on Brandon Allen.
A little bit of a bang-bang play right there, but Brandon Allen with his back turned towards goal. Not sure how he can be called for that one, holding his space right there. Certainly it was a ball that Callum Irving had every right to come out to. Perhaps a moment too late, just a little bit of hesitation right there. But that was a very, very dangerous play.
It was a good ball in, but that's a That's a tough call on Brandon Allen.
When it hits Brandon Allen in the chest, I have a hard time seeing that was a foul.
Listen, what do you always try and do? You want to protect the keeper, but in spots where they're vulnerable to injury. That's a 50-50 ball that Brandon Allen has as much right to as anyone else.
And I'm a former goalkeeper. I'm all about protecting goalkeepers, Matt, but that right there, Callum Irving coming out perhaps a moment too late, the ball hitting Brandon Allen's chest as he's attempting to shield it. That one is a little bit of a challenge for me to actually see that was a foul.
Ben Mines, the 16-year-old, will enter. Where's number 52 in the white and red of New York today? He will replace Zico Lewis, who goes out limping just a little bit, will be tended to
the USL is one of the most prominent second division professional leagues in the world, featuring some of the game's top talent and rising stars. Stay up to date with all the latest league news and information by visiting
I always find it fascinating to watch these young guys, and then you get the next level of young guys. To be as young as Ben Mines.
Young and fearless.
Soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. Visit NikeSoccer.com. I think I said as he was entering, Mines 16. Just remembered that he turned 17 about a week ago. So now he's not so young anymore, right?
He can drive himself to the games now.
Yeah. Doesn't make for as fun of a story. He'll get his first touch. Good pressure by Mines to create a turnover.
We have celebrity fan Frank Isola here from around the Horn. Big Red Bulls 2 fan, season ticket holder as well. So is Don Garber. Although I don't think he's here.
If he was, we'd need a third headset. See if we can have him come up and talk with us a little bit.
Got one or two questions for him.
42nd minute in a 1-1 first half. With Christian Dyer, I'm Matt Harmon. We come to you from the campus of Montclair State University at MSU Soccer Park. Game number 8 for the Ottawa Fury. Game number 10 for the defending USL champion New York Red Bull 2. Irving looking over the top. Schmall tried to play it back for Loro and then got fouled by Salazar. Flemings. Good cut to keep possession. Into space for Bezecourt. Bezecourt can't get the service across. Mines was there. Last touch by New York. It's the first of 2 at home for New York Red Bulls 2. They will play over Memorial Day weekend on the 28th of May against the Charleston Battery. That is a 4 o'clock start as well here from MSU Park. Flemings again in space against Obasi. Good cut, Flemings keeps it alive. Roseboom able to restore order.
such a calming presence there in the center of the midfield. Plays a good ball, but Roseboom's positioning, his understanding, such a solid player for Ottawa.
I think it was Ottawa that controlled, I'd say, the first 10, 15 minutes. Since that point, it's been a pretty evenly matched game.
Yeah, during that stretch, Ottawa was winning all the 50-50 balls, all those challenges, was getting the second balls as well, and really sustained pressure wave after wave. But Red Bull, too, I think has done a good job settling in, just their understanding. Defensively, they're not getting pulled apart as much anymore. Ottawa was switching fields, a lot of quick movement. And I think the pressing right now from Red Bulls, too, against that three-man back line, affecting Ottawa's build-up play just a little bit.
Metzger leaving it for Basulovic. Good turn by Bezecourt. Wanting to slip one for Allen. Flemings can't get around Andre Campbell, and then Bezecourt will commit the foul. We'll have some time in the second half to look at the USL season so far. Tampa Bay, the team at the top in the East. San Antonio, the team in the West. That is atop the table.
Ladies and gentlemen, the fourth official on the sideline.
2 minutes of stoppage time as we've hit 45 on the clock. Here's a run forward. Loro in trouble. Kept down by Sione. And then it finally is called out over the end line. Miscommunication there between Schmal and Loro almost cost New York.
But Loro doing the right thing in moments like that when the communication breaks down and it's a ball he can't get to. Stays on his feet, doesn't commit, forces the player out wide so that he can't put a shot on frame.
Bilyeu ahead for Mines against Edward. Allen for Bezecourt. Flemings held up against Campbell.
Good patience, though, from Flemings. Flemings a year ago.
Mines with the first-time ball. Big save made by Irving.
Good understanding of Mines there, going right in between the center-back pairings, seeing that there was space, one-timed effort. But in that build-up there, Junior Flemings a year ago would have tried to rush things, would have tried to make a play. Here sitting and understanding, knowing and waiting.
This is Salazar in transition. Abador forced him just wide enough that he couldn't get it on frame. And that will take us to the end of this first half. 1-1 our score. Christian, that first half, I think the way we've described it, good start for Ottawa, better with the possession for New York as the half went on.
Yeah, Ottawa being an absolutely dominant team for about opening 15 minutes, but then New York, I think, settling in, controlling possession, widening things up, perhaps playing just a little bit smarter down there, being able to pull apart Ottawa and that three-man back line. Big physical presence, but has been broken down a few times from Ottawa.
Points are there for both of these teams in a 1-1 first half. Hume, the goal for Ottawa. Flemings, the equalizer for New York Red Bulls 2. We'll come back with some first half highlights, some stats, and talk about what's coming up in the second half.
raise the stakes. Expectations are high. Our biggest season yet will break records with elite players and future stars. Innovative technology and new homes. We're growing the game in our communities and across the nation. Are you ready?
Ready to go. Big time atmosphere here at Red Bull Arena.
What a shot saved by Robles. Bradley right for it has scored. The ultimate scoring machine. And New York is on fire.
Hashtag New York is red. And who would argue with them?
.45 in, 45 to go. With Christian Dyer, I'm Matt Harmon. USL action here in Montclair, New Jersey. New York Red Bulls 2 and the Ottawa Fury FC all tied so far at 1. Crowd enjoying what is a pretty nice spring day in May. After a very hot week, it has cooled off considerably. The sun's been kind of in and out during the course of the match so far, but overall pretty comfortable temperatures. Take a look at our highlights. We've had 1 goal per side, and we've had some good saves per side. Irving and Loro have been called on a couple of times during the course of the match for both teams. Been impressed with Evan Loro. When he's been called on, he's made some big stops.
Yeah, Evan Loro positionally has been good. Instinctually has been solid as well. Certainly nothing he could do on the Ottawa goal. Doing well with the first, being able to make a save on the first shot, and then Hume doing so well, turning, presence of mind to look up, tucking it in, a well-placed shot. And then I think Red Bull did a good job responding. Ottawa controlled for about the opening 15 minutes or so, but I thought then Red Bull 2 gained in possession. They did more build-up play out of the back four, which is what they want to do, leading to opportunities like this. Brandon Allen turning and Junior Fleming's one-timing a perfect shot, tucking it right in there into the side netting. Just a good presence of mind from Allen, not to rush anything, to be able to create a little bit of space for himself. And then Fleming, knowing that the goalkeeper, Callum Irving, is out of goal, did a very good job. I thought they're a savvy type of move from Junior Fleming.
We mentioned Loro had to make a couple of saves. We saw one early, that one coming much later in the half. Evan Loro, the former University of Michigan standout. One last chance for Michael Salazar, who we talked about in the open as our star player on loan here from the Montreal Impact. 24th pick in the 2016 MLS draft. You know, Salazar, I don't know that he's really had a huge impact on the game, but if you get him into space, he's a guy that's going to be dangerous.
Yeah, dangerous player in 1v1 situations, confident on the dribble, likes to take players on, good understanding of where he needs to be able to find that space. And I think that understanding with a player like a Tucker Hume up there, who's got that big body, but makes those smart runs into space as well, has made Ottawa very dynamic in the final third.
And as we talked about for the Red Bulls, Allen, Flemings, and Lewis, dangerous to start. So far, the Ottawa back three has done a fairly good job of minimizing danger.
Yeah, there have been some cracks, but it's been the one-touch play when Red Bulls in transition, they're able to pull apart the back line. That's when Ottawa's had some difficulties in defending.
Well, we will take a timeout here. When we come back, we'll get you set for the start of the second half. Red Bulls 2, Ottawa Fury FC, all tied at 1.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh.
It only takes a moment to make a moment.
Cheers.
Take time to be a dad today.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. Got it. No.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early. You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
We've raised the stakes. Expectations are high. Our biggest season yet will break records with elite players and future stars. Innovative technology and new homes. We're growing the game in our communities and across the nation. Are you ready?
The CONCACAF Gold Cup kicks off in July with Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida, hosting the U.S. men's national team versus Martinique on July 12th.
I've been in many stadiums in the United States throughout my career, and there's not a finer venue than Raymond James. So I think I can say on behalf of CONCACAF and U.S. Soccer, we're thrilled to be coming here in July, and it's going to be an exciting time.
Coach Arena and the Cup finished the day with a visit to the USL corporate offices in Tampa.
The growth of the sport in our country has grown tremendously. Everywhere in the United States, you can find a soccer club, and that's obviously is attributed to the growth of USL as well as Major League Soccer. So the sport in our country has grown tremendously, and we should be real proud of where we are in 2017.
For USL Network, I'm Morgan Conklin.
We've raised the stakes. Expectations are high. Our biggest season yet will break records with elite players and future stars. Innovative technology and new homes. We're growing the game in our communities and across the nation. Are you ready?
ready to go. Big-time atmosphere here at Red Bull Arena.
Wide shot saved by Robles. Bradley right for it has scored! The ultimate scoring machine. And New York is on fire.
Hashtag New York is red. And who would argue with them?
Left out here to rot and burn. I never trusted your love. Don't need any of the games. 'Cause all you do is complain.
Second half, couple of minutes away. Matt Harmon, Christian Dyer back here on the USL YouTube channel. New York Red Bulls 2 and the Ottawa Fury all tied at 1. Goals for Tucker Hume and for Junior Flemings. Christian, you think about what could take place here in this second half. Red Bulls had to make a couple of substitutions, so bench options for John Wallenick in the second half might be a tad limited. For Ottawa, full complement that they can still go with at some point. But, you know, these are important points at this stage of the season. You know that, and we talked about this last night on Red Bulls Radio when the MLS teams were matched up, Toronto and New York. You want to try and get points here in the spring because the dog days of summer, it's a grind, it's a long season. So if you can build up some momentum now, it might be able to carry you through some tough times in the summer months.
Yes, some tough times in the summer, times when at the USL level, you're losing players to international play. Some players are getting called up to the MLS level. An awful lot of travel. And when you're at home, you have the opportunity, in May to be able to make a statement, to be able to get those kind of points. This is an important 3 points for Red Bull 2. And if you're Ottawa Fury, you're looking and saying, we have the opportunity to come out here, make a long road trip, and we're able to come out here and perhaps emerge with a point or perhaps more. There's an awful lot left to play for both teams in the second half.
Now, Ottawa started their year on a 2-game losing streak, then went unbeaten in 4, just 1 win, and they come in off of a loss. We talked about their success in the Canadian Championship. They were able to eliminate Edmonton in the opening round of the tournament to move into the next round, in which they will take on Toronto. They beat FC Edmonton 1-0 at home and then 3-2 on the road. And that first game that took place drew a pretty good crowd. And when those Canadian teams match up, that usually is the draw for some. And the opportunity to take on an MLS team like Toronto FC, who right now is at the top of the Supporters' Shield race in Major League Soccer. Those are kind of the challenges that you like, whether it's something here in the States like the Open Cup or in this particular case, the Canadian Championship.
And you're looking at TFC2 as well as a team with an awful lot of academy players. And Toronto FC, I think much to their credit, has over the past couple of years really put an emphasis on their academy system. We're seeing a lot of young players. And, we talked about in the pregame show yesterday, Toronto was a team who has an awful lot of depth, perhaps the deepest team in MLS in large part due to their academy. And we're seeing now the trickle down with teams like Ottawa and Edmonton, the emphasis they're putting on young players and developing young players for USL, NASL, MLS, and international level.
13 total shots for Ottawa in that first half, 5 for New York, 5 corners for the Fury, just 1 for Red Bull 2. Duels won 64 to 36% in favor of Ottawa. Passing accuracy, Red Bulls 2 around 80, 69% for Ottawa, and possession 58 to 42 in favor of New York. So our second half gets up and going as we are tied right now at 1. The goals, Tucker Hume in the 14th, unassisted. Junior Flemings in the 20th minute from Brandon Allen.
So Matt, got to ask, South Jersey guy, what do you think of MSU Soccer Park here at Montclair State University?
Well, first of all, I'm going to take exception with being called the South Jersey guy. If you come from Monmouth County, you're a Shore guy. You're not a South Jersey guy. You have to remember, New Jersey is split in 3s, right? There's North Jersey, there's the Shore, and then there's South Jersey. So you and I are going to have issues for the next 45 minutes.
Anything below Rutgers is South Jersey.
Well, speaking from someone who's a North Jersey person, they don't understand the geography of the state.
You guys don't know how to drive down there or make pizza. We'll leave it at that.
But to answer your question, having now watching a USL game here for the first time, impressed with how things were redone. Bleachers look good. It's a nice enclosed area. And you can hope that if this Red Bull 2 team has success like they did last year, people continue to come out. I will be more interested in the fall when school gets back into session to see if they can get the MSU students to be part of things here. Of course, looking at the USL schedule, once September rolls around, New York has a game over Labor Day weekend here at MSU Park, and then September 30th against Pittsburgh. They play 6 of their last 8 on the road. You're familiar with the area here and this pitch?
A little familiarity, yes. I watch many games from the bench here.
Hey, you got to be in it to win it. Isn't that what they say?
I was a get back when the TV cameras came around. I yelled "get back."
Everybody behind the line. 48th minute. It will be dropped into the box of Lauro. But Sulovic looking ahead for Mines. He came on for Zico Lewis, who had to leave with what looked to be a lower body injury. Allen looking to pounce along with Mines. This will be played down the hill. First time ball in, looking for Flemings, who was tugging a bit at one of the defenders for the Fury. And Christian, as we talked in between the first and the second half, you look at this New York Red Bull 2 team and start to project guys into the next level. You spoke highly of Zico Lewis earlier in the game. Junior Fleming's a guy that certainly has the potential, you would think, at some point to make a mark at the MLS level. You look at the rest of the roster as it sits today for Red Bulls 2. Where else do you see the senior team maybe getting some help over the course of the next couple of seasons?
Well, I do think Zico Lewis is a player who can play at the next level. He's on a season-long loan to the USL, so he won't be available for this year.
Over the top for Mines. Left-footed shot over the top of the crossbar for the youngster.
What a nice run there, though, from Ben Mines. A player who understood where the ball was going to be coming through and puts himself in a real dangerous position here, taking the ball down, putting it in, and just his body going away with his left foot. Wants to put it in there towards the back post. Instead, lofts it over.
Mines, who came on to the first half, entering today, had played in just 3 games for a total of 73 minutes. At 17, you know, chomping at the bit for that first professional goal. Overruled as New York was getting set to take the throw. It will be given to Ottawa. So Zico Lewis being one. Where else could New York turn at this USL roster?
Yeah, Junior Flemings was a player who, if he didn't have 2 off-season surgeries, I think would have definitely been factoring in and knocking at the door, playing for the MLS team, perhaps being a player who's ready to make the 18, I think, at some point this season or potentially next year. I think he's a good player. We talked about Dan Metzger before.
This one is lofted in for Ottawa. Sione from distance.
And Cito Sione, who was so dangerous in the first half. Remember, he had one off the crossbar midway through the first half, but this was one a little bit against the run of play. Red Bulls 2 taking the opportunity with most of the possession in the first half. But Cito Sione lofting it over, tucking it in there. Evan Laurel at the 6-yard box, perhaps a little bit too far off of his line, but Sione, the understanding, the placement, the coolness of the finish.
Brilliant strike at goal by Sione, and Ottawa has gone back up top for the second time today. They led 1-0 and now up 2-1. First one for Sione. Move through the midfield a little bit. Bezecourt, a guy that we've talked about. Velo.
Yeah, both of them certainly, I think, are players who we could be seeing in the Open Cup for the MLS team. Keep in mind there's also a Champions League campaign. We'll have to see how the team's doing in MLS play, how much of an emphasis they're going to put on the Champions League. So, and then I think you're looking at some of the younger players, Kevin O'Toole at some point potentially becoming a homegrown player, signing Ben Mines as well. I think are both players who could be in that next batch that we see signed as homegrown players from the academy, kind of following that system, similar to a Tyler Adams through the academy, USL, up to the MLS level. I think both of them have that ceiling.
Ottawa taking the lead. We play here in the 53rd minute. You could make the same question as you look at this Ottawa team with their linkage to Montreal. The Impact struggling so far in the Eastern Conference at the MLS level. Certainly not out of the realm that a player or two might see time at the big club at some point this year.
Yeah, certainly Salazar is looking the part of being a draft pick and someone who can come in at some point for the Impact. He's a good player, dynamic, 1v1, possesses the kind of size you want to see at the MLS level. I think Tucker Hume's a player who might have a little bit of a higher ceiling as well. Certainly uses his body well, but isn't one of those just big kind of guys. Reminds me a little bit of a Kenny Cooper, who did so well in MLS, creative on the ball, perhaps a little deceptive due to his size. Isn't a true target striker in that regard, but is a real creative player who boasts some size, some understanding, and times his runs very well.
Off the head of Eddie Edward. So a set piece coming far side corner for Bezecourt. Taken short. No service. Defended by Obasi. Good vision by Mines. Turning, looking. There's the point to the spot just inside the 18-yard box. Bezecourt got drilled.
What a savvy move by Bezecourt. He sat right there in that pocket, knew where the channel was going to be, makes the turn, draws the foul, and sets up now a penalty kick opportunity for Red Bull 2 to equalize. But this is the savvy kind of move. We were just talking about him a few moments ago, Matt. A guy potentially at the MLS level. See how he just sits there and uses his body to shield it. If the foul isn't made there by Ottawa, Bezecourt is going in on goal in a 1v1 situation.
Brandon Allen is usually the designated PK taker for New York Red Bull 2. He will put it at the spot and look square at Callum Irving.
And Allen's so good from the PK spot. Have to think that the Red Bulls 2 staff here has Bulls on parade ready on cue.
Just to try and tie it at 2. Allen awaiting the whistle. Delays his run a little bit. Hits it with the left foot and ties it at 2.
Emphatically taken there from Brandon Allen. Make no mistakes about it. Even if Callum Irving has and guesses the right way, no way he's getting a hand on this one. Just look at the confidence here from Brandon Allen, powering it in.
No question, earmarked for the top shelf of the goal. Good look there by our crew. Irving guessing one direction, Allen playing it the other. We saw PK last night in the Toronto-New York game at Red Bull Arena. Luis Robles perhaps saving a couple of points with a save late in the match on Josie Altidore.
Allen is sixth in the 56th minute.
Goal number 6 for Brandon Allen. He's a curious case, isn't he, to whether or not he could translate to the next level?
Yeah, Brandon Allen's a player who I think they want to try to use as a bit of a target forward. He's got that build. He's got that type of frame. He doesn't really fancy himself to be that type of player. He wants to make runs off the ball, get service, get deliveries, be in those 1v1 situations. And I'm not quite sure at the next level if he possesses the speed or the quickness to be able to make those types of runs. I think what we've seen a lot here at the MLS level is, or rather the USL level, is a player who's benefiting from an awful lot of possession, a very good team. But as far as being able to make that jump up to the MLS level, I'm not sure week in, week out if Brandon Allen's going to be that type of player for this team.
You know, the one thing that I think you could say as a case for Allen is no matter where he's played, 4-year starter at Georgetown, here now with Red Bull 2 after signing a homegrown contract, he does score goals.
He does. He certainly has the production, and every time he gets an opportunity and steps on the field, he does that. And you know, this summer may be the opportunity for head coach Jesse Marsh to give him a run of time to be able to see if Brandon Allen's a player who, whether it's at the Open Cup or Champions League or whatever it might be, could be a player who can go on, or if he may need to go somewhere else to develop and take that next step in his career.
Did play in one MLS game a season ago. 2-2 our score, 59th minute. Good touch by Dixon. Small with the clearance. Corner coming for Ottawa. Sione. Driven across, punched out by Loro with a whistle coming to help New York.
What I really like here from Evan Loro is his command, his understanding that ball right there on the edge of the 6-yard box. He went out, no hesitation. And I think we saw a little bit earlier in the year, Evan Loro coming up playing college soccer. You mentioned a few moments ago a standout at Michigan. You know, he's a player who I think perhaps was a little bit tentative, and rightly so, but now we've seen in recent weeks he's growing in confidence, his understanding, and I think also his communication with the back line continues to get better week in and week out. And if the distribution, he can help the team build out of the back more and more, I think that will only be an asset for Red Bull. And you know, look, he's starting to become a player who I think is solidifying his position with the USL team, and really you can begin to see why the MLS squad is so high on this young man.
Signed as a homegrown player in January of 2017. He would really be the third keeper if New York needed one behind Robles and Mara. Fans, stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune in to USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts, Mondays at 9 p.m. You can hear that at SiriusXM-FC Channel 85. Also, don't forget SiriusXM-FC will air the USL Game of the Week. Check out USLsoccer.com for dates and times.
Some real good hold-up play there from Tucker Hume. using his body well, and as the team was beginning to counterattack, Red Bull with the high press was swarming around him, holds onto the ball and builds possession at a time when, you know, Ottawa the past 5 minutes or so has had some difficulty stringing together possession.
We talked about his size a couple of times. He's listed at 6'5", 203 pounds.
He's tall.
Schmall, who is 6'6", wins that race.
He's tall too.
This is an Ottawa team that is playing without Steven Dos Santos today, who would normally be one of those front runners as well, out with a day-to-day injury. He's another tall guy, 6'4". Allen in an offside position with that last touch. McElhinney. Fleming's turning. Obasi the last touch. Fleming's trying to flip it on. Basulovic can't slow Obasi. Hume running it down. Keeps the possession on for Ottawa. 63rd minute, 2-2 our score. Salazar, the target in the box. Ottawa looking for a handball call against Bilyeu. Paul Dalglish, the second-year head coach and general manager for Fury FC. I mentioned his playing background. Played with the Houston Dynamo, in which he won a MLS Cup. His coaching resume, including stops at FC Tampa. Austin was an assistant coach for Real Salt Lake before having the chance to be a head coach again. Certainly has the coaching gene, as his father, Kenny, longtime Liverpool and Celtic manager, was the Scottish national team coach for quite some time.
And what a learning opportunity for the players here in Ottawa. So many young players on this roster, and Paul Dalglish is a player who, you know, has played at high levels overseas, certainly in the UK, and also here at MLS. Being able to pass on that knowledge and that insight for a young player, that's invaluable. And one of the great things about USL is you look up and down the teams here. Look at John Walenek here in New York, someone who's played with the U.S. national team a few times, had a long career in MLS, played in the A-League, you know, his college soccer here in Fordham. Just what he can pass on to these players who are following so much of the same path and trajectory as he is. And being a local guy, just the cachet that he has really helps with the assimilation of these young players to the next level.
Dixon with a play on after he almost chopped Mines in half. Now Ottawa looking for a call on McElhinney. Campbell played well by Najem. Allen will turn and restart. Yeah, certainly Walenek, that long career in Major League Soccer, Metro Stars, Red Bulls, time with Chicago, Columbus, LA. Oh, Bezecourt gets swiped in half. That's easily a yellow, if not even more than that. That was a nasty challenge, and Bezecourt still on the ground.
Yeah, and Bezecourt with those 1v1 abilities, his ability here to go into space, takes one touch for a little bit of separation there, and ooh, that an absolute deserved yellow card right there.
I think you could make the argument it could have even been more.
He may have showed a little stud right there.
There's John Walenek, upset that it's just a yellow.
And John Walenek, one of the most mild-mannered coaches you'll ever meet in your life, to see him losing his temper there on the sidelines, he must have seen something.
Soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit Nike.
It was a pretty rough challenge. Good to see Bezecourt able to pop up. Basulovic and Bezecourt both around it. A lot of action inside the 18. Flemings gets involved with McElhinney, who had just been given a yellow. Flemings will get a talking to right now. This game has gotten out of control.
Well, it's that old New York-Ottawa rivalry, Matt.
Developing pretty quick in what is the first meeting between the two teams, the first of 3. Let's see if we can take a look. As often is the case, Flemings was trying to get space, and defenders usually will try and hold things up a little bit. McElhinney, who's still down on the turf. I mean, I was actually looking right in that direction. I would be shocked if he's not okay.
And the referee now talking with the line official as well, just to get clarification. I think a good job here by the head referee, who I think's had a difficult challenge. It's been a physical game, a little bit of a choppier game right now, but as soon as he saw the moment, stepped right in, took control, and with the teams kind of coming together and everything else, I think doing well now, bringing Junior Flemings aside, just wanting to talk through the situation, calm things down, so the final 25 minutes or so of this match can be played at a little bit of a different level, and perhaps not handbags at 10 paces.
It's going to be a card on Flemings, a yellow. Lance Roseboom, who is the captain.
And Roseboom, the captain, not at all happy about it, yelling out, "Are you kidding me?"
Look in the middle of your screen. Flemings. He did put his hands up near the neck and the face. That could be grounds for an automatic red.
Yeah, it's certainly not malicious. I wouldn't say that Junior Flemings was trying to do any type of damage, but in a situation like that, as a referee, you got to make some sort of statement, and I think certainly could have been justified in pulling out a red card.
Well, I think obviously, I would say one missed per side maybe. Bezecourt will drive it in. It's headed down and into the back of the net. Mines with the touch.
And we've called out Ben Mines' name an awful lot since his insertion midway through the first half. This is a young man, teenager, just turned 17 years old, so fearless on the field. And we're seeing why Red Bull is so high on this player. Comes on in here, redirects this free kick. Well-struck ball from Bezecourt.
Right in the middle of your picture. Great change.
Perhaps the smallest player in the 18-yard box rises up well and gets his head to it, just directing it past the goalkeeper.
First goal for Ben Mines. That's a moment to remember.
New York Red Bulls 2-goal.
New York will take a 3-2 lead. Handball on Salazar, who couldn't keep the possession.
The assist to number 88,
Now, let's see how the next 20 plays out here, as it's gotten a little sloppy and nasty. Remind you, soccer fans, that Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com. You gotta love I'll use the word moxie of Ben Mines. 17, you mentioned the smallest guy in that 18-yard box, going and finding possession and scoring. Overlapping run here in the Najem. Played into space, but too much on it. Run down by McElhinney. Hanging in the air, Metzger with the aerial win. Bezecourt doing battle with Bonicio. Ahead for Mines. He has right now the game winner. Fleming's dummied it on. May have been better off serve, trying to make a play on it. Salazar had it poked out by Bilyeu. Looks like Ottawa is getting ready to make their first change of the day.
Fans, make sure you tune into the USL.
Let's see what New York Red Bulls 2 does, as they have a substitution still to use at some point. 72nd minute of play. New York 3 and Ottawa 2. Ben Mines has the game winner as it sits right now. Ryan Williams, number 7, will check in. He's got a goal on the season. At the next opportunity, he will be the first sub for Ottawa. Fans, you can stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune in to USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts, Mondays at 9 p.m. Flemings, outer part of the box right side, serves it across. It's played in the air by McElhinney, and it will be a corner for New York.
What a dangerous play there from Junior Flemings, taking the ball down the right channel, quick touch into the 18, and rather than driving towards the end line, serving the ball across towards Brandon Allen. If that ball gets into Allen, we're talking about a brace for Brandon Allen in this match. He's putting that one away.
Also, don't forget SiriusXM FC airs the USL Game of the Week. Check with USL Soccer for dates, times, and information. Set piece here for New York. Bezecourt drives it across. Schmall and Flemings both there. Last touch by New York, and it will be that substitution that we spoke of. Ryan Williams will enter for Ottawa. Benicio will check out. Williams, 5'8", British native, 166 pounds. His second year with the Fury.
Soccer Fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com.
We're in the 74th minute of play. Schmall running it down against Williams. Gave it away, newly entered player. Driving it across, looking, and it will be headed out over the back post, but I believe the offside flag had been raised up, or the ball went out over the end line before it came back in. Regardless, it will be New York putting it back in play. You know, the history of this Ottawa team, kind of interesting, starting in 2014 in the North American Soccer League. They won the Fall Championship in 2015 and deciding in between last year and this year to join the USL, which this year has 30 teams to its credit. Mentioned in the East, Ottawa 14th right now overall. Good speed by Mines. He will get New York another corner. We'll go back to the standings discussion when we've got a moment to breathe. It'll be Bezecourt who will take this again. Straight line set up for New York. Driving ball towards the top of the 6. Flemings is there! And a fingertip punch by Irving.
Junior Fleming, so dangerous all game long, right there on the edge of the 6-yard box. Snap header, well saved by Callum Irving, who I think has been very solid this match. Controlled his box well. Can't be faulted on any of the 3 goals conceded.
Another corner, Bezecourt with another chance. Driving ball here low. It will come to Basulovic. Metzger will change the point of attack. (3-2) New York in the 76th minute. Great strength shown by Mines. One too many touches across the top of the 18. McElhinney will clear, only for a brief moment, however. Bezecourt with a delayed run in. Knocked out by Edward.
Good counter pressing here from Red Bull too. When they're losing the ball, they're going at it. They're forcing Ottawa to play long balls. Now, there's going to be a danger on the counterattack. Ottawa now has a little bit more speed on the field. Ryan Williams is a player who can bring some of that dimension to the game. But right now, you're seeing Red Bull 2 really trying to put their stamp on the game emphatically.
I mentioned the standings, and while we've got a second here, up to date. Tampa, 20 points leading the East. Charleston, Pittsburgh, sitting in pretty good spot. Red Bulls with a win could move up as high as 4th. Louisville, Orlando City B, St. Louis, and Bethlehem Steel in the top 8. Bottom of the table, FC Cincinnati, Rochester, Charlotte, Harrisburg City, Richmond, this Ottawa team, and Toronto FC. 2. Campbell's open in transition. It'll be a Red Bull 2 throw. San Antonio pacing things out west. Real Monarchs, Seattle Sounders 2, Colorado Springs, Rio Grande Valley, Swope Park Rangers, Tulsa, and Vancouver FC 2 in the top 8. Abador for Basulovic. Roseboom in transition, finding Williams. In space, they want Salazar. Got the clearance across. Dangerous ball, a missed attempt, and then good tackle by Abador before Sione could get anything on frame. Rest of the fold in the Western Conference: Orange County, Sacramento, Phoenix, LA Galaxy 2, who this Red Bull 2 team played a week ago, Reno, Oklahoma City, and Portland Timbers 2. Some of those names, Christian, familiar because they're linked right in with their MLS teams. Some familiar because those are the teams that have been busy the last round in the U.S. Open Cup.
The continued development of the USL, to me, was the story of U.S. soccer last year. And I think it's going to be interesting to see what this league becomes. I mean, a lot of teams are making that push to play at the MLS level. Certainly, we've heard about all those names and all the linkings. And
Williams bouncing ball. Sione had the chance at it. Loro will grab it at the 6.
But more and more teams, and I think franchises are going to be looking for the opportunity to perhaps say, this is a proving ground, not just to be able to develop a culture of soccer in cities where there is no professional soccer, but also potentially to be able to play at the MLS level and be able to have an MLS franchise. And a lot of USL teams, I think, have that kind of footprint in place to be able to make an argument that they should be included in the next round of MLS expansion.
Some of the names that we just read off would be among those that have been speculated for chances to move up: Phoenix, Sacramento, San Antonio, Cincinnati, Tampa Bay. Those are among the rumored teams in what would be the next round.
When you look at all of them have an organic culture they're trying to build for the sport. Many of them do not have a competing sport in the summer, which is always a big thing. It makes MLS the only game in town. And I think a lot of them also have an academy system in place, are putting in the stadium infrastructure that's necessary when you look at the likes of a Sacramento, making big steps there. So, it's an exciting time to be in the USL and to see the growth and development of the league.
New team set to enter play in Major League Soccer next year, LAFC. Second team in the Los Angeles area. They will come in as a loan entry as it sits right now. Situation in Miami has been much debated, and the league has made no bones about trying to get to 28 teams over the course of the next couple of years. I think the last list I saw was, what, 12 for maybe those last 4 spots? Does that sound about right?
It's a lot of competition and a lot of money out there, too. It's good, and it's a sign of the growth of MLS.
Stay up to date with all the latest news and information by visiting
Soccer fans, Nike, the official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com. With Christian Dyer, I'm Matt Harmon. It is New York Red Bulls 2 leading Ottawa Fury FC 3-2. About 8 in stoppage time remaining. Mines offside as he made a nice diagonal run towards goal. His goal is the difference as it sits right now. Obasi. Look at Bezecourt work back that sliding tackle. Bezecourt against Obasi, who will get there first. Over the top for Sione. That will run out.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. Entering the game for New York Red Bulls 2. Number 53,
Kaz Shigenobu will make his entry into the game. And he will replace Junior Flemings, who had some productive minutes and a goal today. Shigenobu, another young player, a U18 Red Bulls player. Made his debut for Red Bulls 2 last year in August. He's an under-18 men's national player. Will check himself more into a midfield role. So Shigenobu, young player. Mines, young player. What do they always say within the Red Bull Academy system? The future is always bright.
Well, it is one of the top academy systems. I think you make the argument, Matt, that it is probably the top academy system in U.S. soccer, right up there with FC Dallas.
'85th minute. Vasilovic off on the far side. Metzger playing Mines long, but he was offside. Five and stoppage time remaining, of which we could have a few minutes. There was a couple of cards given, the goal.
And Shigenobu coming in for Junior Flemings. He's going to be sitting there right next to Dan Metzger in front of the back four.
Pops it long over the head of Vasilovic. Bezecourt's now assumed to roll more on the flank here on the right side. Obasi having to drop to Irving. Dangerous ball here. This is played, and Lauro will make the save. Second ball is in for Ottawa. Salazar will get the finish, and we are tied at 3.
And as we saw in the first half there, Matt, Ottawa's first goal comes on an Evan Lauro rebound. Lauro doing so well, really sprawling out there with a good reaction save. But when the ball pops out and you're pressing numbers forward, opportunities like that are going to happen, and just nothing he could do on that second opportunity.
3 white jerseys around Sione. That left Salazar in a prime spot for a rebound. And he will pounce on it. And we are back to level terms.
You know, perhaps a bit deserved there for Ottawa. This was a team that, you know, came in, gave up the lion's share of possession for much of the second half, but Red Bull too had a bunch of half opportunities, but outside the one opportunity where they did score, on the penalty kick and then the Ben Mines corner kick, I'm not sure if there's been a whole lot in terms of offensive output for Red Bull too, and Ottawa was willing to sit back, absorb the possession, be a counterattack team, and I think it paid dividends on this one.
Michael Salazar, his first goal with the Ottawa Fury. Obviously trying to impress here at the USL level, to be called back in by the Impact. We've got just a couple of minutes to go here in regulation time. Schmal and Bilyeu miscommunicate far side. We'll see who is willing to push here for the extra 2 points. Roseboom, lost in transition. Basulovic will take it over. Bilyeu, good ball into space for Mines. Irving had read it. Obasi, the touch, perhaps one too many. That's Campbell running free. Abador will come over and tackle it away. Flipped on for Hume. In the box, penalty coming. And it will be Ottawa with a chance. In what, when it is taken, will be in the 90th minute to go up 4-3. Abador called for the foul and given a yellow.
Abador moments before was carrying the ball up the field, gave it away with the bad pass, and then having to recover. A lot of space left there when he vacated the center back position. Goes in for a challenge that, perhaps he would like to have back.
They will put Ryan Williams as the one to try and put Ottawa up top. Fury has led twice today, 1-0, 2-1, trying to go here 4-3. Approaches, hits, and puts the Fury on top in the 90th minute, 4-3.
Well, a well-taken penalty kick there from Williams, really putting it in. Nothing that Evan Lauro, who's come up with big save after big save in this match, could do, but Williams stepping up with an awful lot of confidence here, striking it past Lauro. Lauro guesses to the right side, but just beyond his outstretched hand.
Jonathan Barden will enter here for Ottawa. He will replace Sione, who has been extremely dangerous on the day. Red Bulls 2 hoping for some late game magic here. Haven't been told exactly stoppage time what we will have. It's a New York team coming in on back-to-back losses, trying to avoid dropping 3 in a row.
And I spoke with John Wolyniec about it a few weeks ago. I said, this team isn't flying as high as they were last year. And he said, that's okay. We're about development. We're about getting players ready for the next level. Sometimes you need some adversity to grow players, to deepen them, and to see if they can take that jump up. And, you know, right now, Red Bulls, too, I think is another game where they were the aggressor. They were perhaps the better team. But certainly they're going to be facing some adversity now in stoppage time.
4 minutes of stoppage time was the official word.
I mean, they outplayed Ottawa. I think they had more possession. They had more half chances, but really they haven't turned that possession in the final third into quality scoring opportunities.
Try to push here for a fourth goal. High scoring affair today. Ottawa with heavy numbers behind the ball. Free possession, Bezecourt. Popped ahead, Basulovic. A lot of chances here for New York. Bezecourt tried the backheel flip. Looked like there was a lot of ball on that last tackle. We are midway through stoppage time here. Ottawa leading 4-3.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please.
Michael Salazar will check out. And the last substitution will come on. Aaron Makun-Gilawa will come on. So 3 subs per side have been used. Campbell trying to keep it on, cannot. So as we enter unofficially the 4th and final minute of stoppage time, Red Bulls 2 with the chance to build and get that 4th goal. Lauro will come out. Into space for Allen. Bezecourt yields to Basulovic. Driven ball in. Nice job by Irving to save it from going out over the end line. Instead, it will be a throw. Bezecourt having to go back, looking for any kind of space. Lost the touch. Now in the hands of the official, as we've played 4 of stoppage time.
And Ottawa coming in, I think, with a good game plan, absorbed an awful lot of pressure, but in the final third, their back 3 stayed overall compact. They had a set-piece goal that they gave up. They had a goal from the penalty spot, but overall affected it, walking out of MSU Soccer Park with 3 points.
Yeah, with 3 points and their second win of the year. They will go to 2-3-3 overall, now 9 points. With the loss, New York falls to 3-5-2. Overall, Christian, a pretty entertaining game to watch. 7 goals combined for the 2 sides.
Yeah, and 2 teams with very different styles coming in. Ottawa willing to sit back, defend first, and then move forward with numbers. And I think New York Red Bulls too. We saw some of the individual performances you would want to see from a team that is the reserve team of the Red Bulls.
Well, we'll come back and put a cap on this one for you with some final thoughts and highlights. Ottawa, a road victory. They beat New York Red Bulls 2, 4-3.
raised the stakes. Expectations are high. Our biggest season yet will break records with elite players and future stars. Innovative technology and new homes. We're growing the game in our communities and across the nation. Are you ready?
Ready to go. Big-time atmosphere here at Red Bull Arena.
What a shot saved by Robles. Bradley right for it has scored! The ultimate scoring machine. And New York is on fire.
Hashtag New York is red. And who would argue with them?
We are back here from MSU Soccer Park on the campus of Montclair State University, where the Ottawa Fury have come into town and knocked off the defending USL champions, New York Red Bulls 2-4-3, the final with Christian Dyer. I'm Matt Harmon. High scoring from one half to the next, Christian. There's no question that we saw a lot of highlights today.
Yeah, it was the second half that really opened up there for the Red Bulls, and you know, an awful lot of possession, an awful lot of the ball that they had there in the final third.
It was a back and forth game for sure. That first one from Tucker Hume started the scoring. Junior Flemings was able to get New York back to level terms. The Fury would score again. That was Sione with the lofting shot over the top.
Well-taken, gutsy goal there. And this, talk about well taken. Brandon Allen emphatically taken from the penalty spot. Make no mistakes about it. And I really liked to see this here from Ben Mines, rising well in the penalty area, snap header, putting it in, tucking it in. We thought that might be the difference in this game, but Ottawa battling back. Evan Lauro with a big save. And then with Michael Salazar, who was so good on the day for Ottawa. To me, the best player on the field for Ottawa Fury.
And then the game winner that came for Ryan Williams, who was a late game substitute after a PK call came in the 90th minute. So for New York, they will have to deal with what is a 3-game losing streak. For Ottawa, they get a very important win in their overall season to try and get things turned around. Two good teams, Christian, that will see each other 2 more times this year, both north of the border.
Yeah, Ottawa, a very solid team, very compact. I think defensive first mentality serves them well. They get an offensive spark plug. This could be a really dangerous team in the USL.
Yeah, certainly could be. 3 big points today. We'll see how things continue to shake out. We will have New York Red Bulls coverage for you next weekend as well, the 28th of May, when the Charleston Battery are here at MSU Soccer Park. That one starting at 4 o'clock. And for continuing information, make sure you go to uslsoccer.com. I want to thank everyone for being part of the broadcast today. Fans watching from around the area via the USL YouTube channel, our crew, which did a fantastic job today. For my partner, Christian Dyer, this is Matt Harmon. We say so long. Final score, one more time. Ottawa 4, New York Red Bulls 2-3. Thanks for watching USL Soccer on YouTube.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent from the United Soccer League.